What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and hopefully you have watched yesterday's video. If you haven't, definitely go check it out. But nonetheless, let's get straight into things. So you'll see today we traded higher, just as anticipated, running out running out Monday's high and starting to reach towards that daily rejection block that I drew our attention to earlier this week. Now we still haven't actually traded to it, which is not a problem, and I do believe it's CPI tomorrow, so I am expecting a lot of volatility. Now, I would like to think that this could be the high of the week purely because it's Wednesday. We expect the high of the week to be made Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and also just the fact that we failed to get into the rejection block as well. No, bearing in mind that we have traded to it already here. To me, as far as I'm concerned, the fact it failed, volume is staying below the buy side liquidity and also below this bearish order block, and pretty much below this breaker. Like, it's looking quite bearish in terms of its failure to get up into that rejection block. Now, this isn't to say it can't get up there, but generally speaking, I'd like to think that it can't, like that could be the high. But nonetheless, we will drop down to the lower time frames, see what we can identify. So let's now go down to the 4 hour and take a closer look. So you can see the consolidation. This is struggling to get up here. You can see when price gets near to its target and it starts to slow down like this, it's likely that we're anticipating a reversal, because what happens is it gets into very high resistance conditions, more orders start to get built up, and you can see it's struggling. So seeing a lot of this back and forth price action is not surprising, especially in this high premium. What is nice to see is how we've traded into that gap, which I also drew our attention to. Look at that, and look at how volume's respecting it. And yeah, we're just pretty much stuck in a consolidation because we know that CPI is about to rip everybody's face off. So is it CPI? Is that Wednesday 11th? Oh, my bad. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's CPI. Excuse me, guys. Hope everybody's well. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, join the mailing list, join the Discord. Right, tomorrow, yeah, CPI. Cool. It's just not showing it here. Nonetheless, yeah, we're expecting a lot of movement tomorrow and expansion nonetheless. So price can run out that Tuesday high. But I'd like to think it is the high of the week. So like I said, the highs tend to be made Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And the fact, again, it's struggling so much, yet volume is still staying below these levels, is saying to me that price may just fail to even get back up there at all. So let's go down to the 1 hour, take a closer look. Again, this isn't very clean price action. But it's nice to see how we traded back through that buy side. Kind of creating, if we're going to trade lower, then this would be the breaker that we're looking at. High, low, higher high. So I'll be looking at this range. Realistically, what I'm specifically looking at is this bullish order block, because once we get below that, that's pretty much confirmation for us that we are going to trade on lower. If this order block manages to continue to show support like what we see here, if that continues to show support moving into tomorrow, then we'll probably run out these highs and get into that rejection block like we anticipated. However, as soon as this is dropped below, then I'm happy to start looking for shorts on dollar and longs on the pairs, because as far as I'm concerned, this is the last low before that last sweep of liquidity. And look, we're getting a 3 drivers pattern. ICT's also spoke about this. 1, 2, 3. So little things like that is what's drawing my attention. We will go to the 15-minute, take a closer look. And yeah, it's just, obviously it's not the cleanest, and the thing is, there's not really much expansion away from this level, which is the other thing that's giving me doubts. So as we're approaching CPI, I am, it's not very clear, but we'll know as soon as we pretty much open in London, because like I said, price is either going to start running below here, which will hint to us, okay, we're probably going to start heading for the lows of, Monday and whatnot. However, if we do stay above this level here, then it's likely we will tap into our rejection block, which is fine because we anticipate that, and then and only then would I start thinking about potential reversals. So yeah, a bit of a sticky one, not really nice consolidation, but we just got to wait at this point. You can see that pretty much since yesterday, it's only Tuesday, I keep thinking it's Wednesday. Pretty much since yesterday, we've just been howling consolidation anyway. So it's very well that they may just be building orders above and below, and then CPI was go 1, 2 and just smash both sides out. So that's the other thing, because of how volatile CPI is in general and how much news we have, it's not unlikely that we wouldn't see both sides taken out like that. So we do need to take that into account. And generally speaking, we shouldn't be trading CPI anyway. But yeah, that's going to be everything on dollar. I hope that all makes sense. Very ugly day in general, not the cleanest. Let's take a look at GBP USD. We will start on the daily. And as you can see on the daily, price traded beautifully, absolutely beautifully down into our level that we called out. So you can see price tapped into that, and look at the reaction we got away from that. You can't make this stuff up, guys. So it's rebalanced with this, and now it's come away from it. So this is all supportive of our bias. Another thing, volume is staying above that 25% level of the daily fair value gap. So this is all supportive of our potential and expected reversal. Moving into Wednesday, the very lowest I'd want to see price trade is going to be the 50% of this wick. Why? It's a long wick, and if we're bullish, this is the very lowest we want to trade. Ideally, it shouldn't even get down below there, 25% level, and you can see that lines up nicely with the fair value gap, 25% level as well. So this is, you know, confluence. It makes this level more strong because we're looking at 25% of this fair value gap and 25% level of this massive wick that was caused yesterday as we traded down into our target. So in the premium, where would we expect to be trading to? Well, we obviously have a nice, beautiful gap right there. There's an imbalance. So price may want to try and reach for that. And this is all assuming that dollar does want to trade on lower. So price will obviously start to reach for this if dollar is happy to turn at this point, which I'd like to think it can. It's just a matter of waiting, guys. In fact, similarly, we should probably look at this wick 50% level. Let me get rid of some stuff on here. It's getting messy. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need. Let's just get rid of a lot of stuff right now. The rejection block I'm going to keep there just because we may still trade into it. But generally speaking, like looking at how we're about to close below this bearish order block, I don't really want to see price get up there tomorrow, but it's not impossible. So here's 50% of that. Let's go down back to the 1 hour, 15 minute, take a closer look. So now we have two levels that we can look to give us hints for price. If price respects this level right here, which I just marked out on the daily, which is 50%, and also an order block lined up with a mitigation block, if price manages to respect that, I'm happy to expect lower prices on dollar. And if price respects this level, then I'm expecting higher prices. So you can see when you have ranges like this and this tight as well, this is what this is like pure consolidation. But we know that as soon as we break through this level, then it's likely we are going to reach for the rejection block. But if we don't, then it's likely we're going to run for these lows. So that's how I'm looking at the market. We can look at this for sell side liquidity, and that's how we can, you know, pay attention to that in the London session, and that can help form setups. But again, CPI, guys. So let's go to the daily here. As I was saying, so I'm looking at the 25% level, forget the 50% level, and then I'd be looking for this gap, but there's also a slight gap right here as well in the premium. So let's get that marked out. Hope you can't hear that. A lot of noise outside, excuse me. So there's a fair value gap there, fair value gap there. Obviously we've filled this gap. Look, it's this gap right here, it's been filled. Why? We traded down on the downside, right to our target, and then we came up. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is done. We can start thinking about premiums. Drop down to the 4 hour. Again, a little bit of consolidation over here, but I wouldn't be surprised if price wanted to dip one more time below in order to then trade on higher and start looking at that Tuesday high as a potential run. So let's get that marked out as buy side liquidity. We'll get this deleted like so. Get this deleted like so. And yeah, it's just a matter of watching how price stays above this fair value gap, because ideally that 25% level should be able to hold price. Let's go to the 1 hour. We ran out stops. We're coming away from price, trading on higher. You can see it's just struggling to get through this fair value gap. Obviously, time off day, and whether this is the actual reversal is another question. But again, off the back of news, oh, I didn't realize we got high impact news at 2 a.m. So that's going to help us a lot, because we'll see expansion in one direction that should be able to help direct us. But look at the way volume is respecting this level right here, which we called out yesterday, I believe. What is it? This fair value gap. Very interesting to see. You know, it's acting as a bullish fair value gap. So moving into the London session, especially with high impact news, I wouldn't be surprised if we found that price maybe drops lower first to create the manipulation and then trades on higher. This last up close candle before this down move, I'm looking as a breaker, low, high, low, low. We've traded through that, and you can see how it lines up nicely with our 25% level as well. So when price does trade back down into there, I'll be looking to see how much support it can find with inside of that, assuming that we are going to run for that Tuesday high and dollar is going to respect the levels that we've drawn out. Other than that, obviously it'll just drop straight through, but ideally I'm looking for that turn in the market. But yeah, again, CPI, man, it is what it is. And also the way, to be honest, the way we've traded off this low, it's not like we've had a crazy expansion higher away from it, you know? So that is quite off-putting as well. And we need to be careful of that. Like usually when you hit a significant price level and we get that reversal, you usually see a big, large, expansive move, but we haven't necessarily had that. But what we do have, like I said, is the respect. Like you can see how we're respecting the fair value gap. We've left it, you know, like we should be hunting for premiums. We've traded down to the discount PDRA we've called out. Why shouldn't we reach for the premium is what I'm saying, unless we're simply on the wrong side of the market. Because as far as I'm concerned, if we do drop below here, then I was wrong from the well, not wrong, but like yeah, we was invalid from the start. So you know, but yeah, we'll wait and see. But definitely paying attention to these levels right here. Let's get the 50% level off that marked out as well. And then let's now head on to the Euro USD. So Euro traded beautifully down into our discount PDRA as well. Again, not the cleanest day, a bit more cleaner on Euro compared to pound nonetheless. I'm going to get rid of a few things over here as well. So this bullish order block open, I do still like the look of. That can be quite sensitive to price, especially if we're expecting a potential reversal. And then we'll be looking at premiums in general. So let's get rid of a few things here just to clean it up. This is from earlier this week. And now let's drop down to the 4 hour, and you can see our price is already pretty close to that bullish order block open, and it's coupled with this up close candle, which should act, you know, as a, we should use that to springboard off. So price might trade into that pretty quickly. That's not a problem. Maybe during London, but again, as it gets here, I'd like to think that we can get a reaction to help turn price, assuming dollar does as we expect. Because basically all this downwards movement we've seen since Monday, us falling out like this, I'm just viewing it as a manipulation because we know where we want to see price trade. We'll drop to the 15 minute. Again, not the cleanest price action today at all. A lot of consolidation, very messy, not very nice. But again, once price gets down into here, then and only then I'm looking, okay, can we get a response away from that? So yeah, tomorrow's going to be interesting. CPI. Looking at these conditions though, guys, like look at this. Why would anyone want to trade in this? I don't like trading in conditions like this. It's not worth it. The kind of moves that I want to be getting in on are things like this, you know, clean runs on liquidity. This, right, what we're seeing right now, just pure consolidation, is not ideal at all. So we need to take that into account. And with it being CPI tomorrow, it's probably best we just wait till Thursday and Friday for all our trading and all the fun stuff. That's going to be everything, guys. I hope that all makes sense. Don't forget to smash subscribe, join the mailing list, drop a like, drop a comment, join the Discord, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.